Good evening, class. So I'm going to begin with introducing myself. My name is Monica Cornejo, and I chose the Charles Berger's uncertainty reduction theory for my research paper. To begin, I want to define what the theory pertains to. That way you have a clear understanding of it. We did study it more or less towards the beginning of the course, so it has been a while, and I do not expect you guys to remember everything about this theory. So I'm just going to kind of give you guys a little refresher. In the first look of communication theory by Emery Griffin, uncertainty reduction theory is focused on the human communication, and it is used to gain knowledge and create understanding. So in this theory, it is mainly focused on the interaction, right? The new interaction, the first time you meet someone, or even the anticipation of meeting someone. For example, like meeting your new boss. You got a new job and you know you have a meeting coming up with your boss. This is what it's referring to. So Berger breaks down why we at first feel anxious and nervous when meeting someone, and how uncertainty reduction is important to improve those feelings. Right? Because we don't want to be feeling anxious or nervous when meeting someone, because then we get really nervous that we're going to say something wrong, all of that in between. Okay, so Berger suggests that the reason why we feel this way before a future interaction is because it might be with someone you're going to see again. So it's not just a random person you're never going to meet again. This is, you're possibly going to be meeting up with someone that you're going to see more than just once, right? Other than that, they could also have something you want. So there's an incentive value. Or because they are interestingly different than us. So they're a bit of deviance going on, but you're intrigued by what's so different about them that you want to find out like what this person is about. All in all, uncertainty is central to all social interaction. It sure makes life interesting. And this is something, a quote that I got from the textbook. It's on page 132. And I really did like the way that that was stated, because it does make life interesting. Being uncertain about something is making things a little more appealing, like, because that's something that I'm going to further discuss, is how you want to obtain more information to reduce those uncertainties. That is the main goal, is to reduce the uncertainties and avoid the nervousness and anxiety, right? So the main focus is to build certainty, as I mentioned, from uncertainty. And the way we do that is based on Berger's axiomatic theory, which is a series of axioms that include verbal communication, non-verbal warmth, information seeking, self-disclosure, reciprocity, similarity, liking, and shared networks. So although this is information, like I said, that we read in the textbook, we use it a lot more often than we realize it. So now that I provided a short overview of Berger's uncertainty reduction theory, I'm going to begin by discussing my research and findings. In 1983, William B., and I'm going to murder this, I can't say his last name, but Gudykunst, presented the uncertainty reduction and predictability of behavior in low and high context culture. This is an exploratory study, and in this paper, it presented a comparison between the low and high context culture during the initial interaction, and the type of questions that are used to reduce uncertainty and the degree of attributional confidence is based upon background information from each culture. So I think that's really important that was stated in the study, because it wouldn't be the same all around, because in cultures, things change, right? The respondents included 287 students at Northeastern University. 174 of the respondents were from low context culture. And that includes, just as a little reminder of what low context culture is, would be like United States, Germany, and Switzerland. And 113 of the other ones were from Asian high context cultures. And that would include, for instance, Japan, China, Korea. There was a short 3-page questionnaire that was provided to the participants, and the results suggested that the members of high context culture were more cautious in the initial interaction with the strangers than the members of low context culture. The data also indicates that members of low context culture engage in more nonverbal activity than do members of high context culture. The results also further indicated that members of high context culture have a greater tendency to make assumptions about strangers based upon their background than do the members of low context culture, which I thought that was actually really interesting. Moving on, so in the second research study that I had reviewed, it's by Malcolm R. Parks, and this was conducted in 1983, titled Communication Networks and the Development of Romantic Relationships, an Expansion of Uncertainty Reduction Theory. It explored networks and dyadic correlates of uncertainty and stability in premarital romantic relationships. Now, respondents completed questionnaires, and then they also, which I thought was interesting, is they also participated in phone interviews 3 months later after they had done the questionnaires. Now, the results showed that respondents experienced less uncertainty about their romantic partners and were less likely to break up when they communicated more often with their partner's family and friends, as well as received greater support for their romantic relationship from family and friends, and communicated more often with their partners and perceived greater similarities to their partners. Furthermore, it demonstrated in the study that social network factors went hand in hand with social cognitive activities of romantic partners and stability of romantic relationship. That includes the amount of communication with the romantic partner and the degree of perceived similarities. Now, this may seem like common sense to us because, of course, with a romantic partner, you want to have similarities and you want to have good communication. But within an intercultural and romantic relationship, and that's combining both of those researches there that are in different contexts, we see the difference and the importance in reducing uncertainty. And it's an important theory by Charles Berger that basically discusses our social survivor, and reducing this uncertainty and reduction will help us avoid those feelings of feeling anxious. Now I'm going to be including a lot more on my essay, but this is a quick overview. I feel like I'm already over the 8 minutes that was suggested by the professor. But just really quickly, the oral bibliography, as I mentioned, I'm just going to mention again just in case. It's Malcolm Parks. It's written in 1983. Communication Networks and Development of Romantic Relationships, and Expansion of Uncertainty Reduction Theory. In Human Communication Research, Article 10, pages 55 to 80. The second one that was included in this oral presentation is by Gudykunst, 1983 as well, and this is titled Uncertainty Reduction and Predictability of Behavior in Low and High Context Culture, an Exploratory Study. And it is found in the Communication Quarterly, 31, pages 49 to 55. Thank you so much, and if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, please do let me know, and then I'll be more than happy to respond. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.